Am I the asshole for telling my sister that her ex was watching her while she was naked? My sister is temporarily living with my brother and his wife Alice. Alice's brother is my sister's ex and my brother's best friend. We'll call him Lucifer for the sake of the post. Since Lucifer and my sister technically broke up 2 years ago, my brother feels like it's okay to constantly invite him over for dinner. It makes my sister feel uncomfortable and hurt, but because she's living with them she feels like she doesn't have a leg to stand on, so she hasn't said anything to my brother or to Alice. Yesterday I caught him watching my very naked sister like a complete perv. He was outside, smoking, and Alice asked me to call him inside as dinner was about to be served when I caught him watching my sister, who had no idea he could see her. I immediately called him out and told my brother, but Lucifer just denied it and my brother believed his blatant lie. My brother asked me not to tell my sister as he thought it was just a misunderstanding, but there was no way in hell I wasn't going to let her know her ex was perving on her. I probably could have waited until after dinner, but I told her as soon as she came downstairs. My sister started yelling at Lucifer and my brother kept defending him by making it seem like it was my sister's fault for not closing the curtains. The thing that really pissed me and my sister off is that Lucifer mostly didn't say a thing, but he looked so fucking smug. One thing he did say is that he had seen it all already, so he didn't need to try to sneak a peek. My brother did tell him to shut up, but he also didn't stop defending him to my sister. My sister is going to leave my brother's house now, even though she really can't afford to. My brother doesn't want her to go because she's fragile, so he even convinced Lucifer to apologize to her today somehow, but my sister still doesn't want to stay with them anymore. My brother is blaming me for the entire situation because I supposedly twisted the situation to make Lucifer look worse than he is because I don't like him, but I think his best friend should stop being a perv and my brother should have more sibling loyalty. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Only AH's here is y'all brother and Lucifer. I really wonder how watching someone who is naked through curtains could be a misunderstanding. My brother is blaming me for the entire situation because I supposedly twisted the situation to make Lucifer look worse than he is. Lucifer was caught perving out on his ex. Okay, let's say it was accidental. If that was the case, why was he continuing to watch his ex be naked? One thing he did say is that he had seen it all already, so he didn't need to try to sneak a peek. The fact he said this while being smug makes me think he knows what he is doing and knew your brother would take his side. Your brother is a jerk. So is Lucifer. And so is the wife for not saying a word through it all. Not the asshole is brother going to wait until Lucifer starts filming her to realize it's an issue. And if he believes your sister is so fragile, now then why the hell isn't he protecting her at all or making his home as comfortable and safe feeling as possible for her by not inviting her ex over all the bloody time, at least while she's temporarily living there? Toxic people. Your sister needs to leave this environment as she is not safe, just proves her ex can do anything and no one will believe her. Not the asshole, but your brother is one. He's defending and inviting this guy over when your sister is uncomfortable. Your sister needs to leave and distance herself from your brother. He cares more about his relationship with his friend than his sister's well-being. He isn't a good brother. I just don't understand why people make excuses for perverts. Am I the asshole for telling my mother she is taking $4 grand from me because of petty feelings? Me 18 male, mother 41 female, father 40 male. 2 weeks ago I was in a car accident where my truck was totaled. My father and mother don't get along the best, so when my mom found out that my dad was helping with insurance, she decided it was her job to do it. She took over right before we knew how much the insurance was going to pay us for the truck. I already found that super weird because there was not much left to do, but I left it at that. Soon after, my mother texted me saying how they were going to be paying $5,000 for the truck, a 2008 Chevy Silverado. I did some research and found these trucks in mint condition usually go for around $7,000–8,000. So I was even more skeptical and asked my father to get the insurance to email him the confirmation on how much they paid out the truck for. That is when I found out that they were paying $4,000 for the truck. But my mother was saying that I would get $3,000 after she paid off the rest of the truck. After this I confronted her and she confirmed she was going to take the money. She said it was because I was being rude to her and I don't treat her with respect. Her definition of rude is walking away mad after she calls the way I dress gay and always putting me down. I told her she is going to take $4,000 from her son and possibly ruin our relationship more for petty feelings, and she got really angry saying that I never respect her and I am always rude. Am I the asshole? I'm really confused by this situation. Edit. Lots of people are asking who pays what. I would help pay the loan and insurance whenever I had money available. The title is in both of our names. And to clear up the money stuff, she says that she owes $5K left in the truck. She was going to give me $3K without telling me that they were giving $7K for it, so she would give me $6K roughly, but she was tying to only give me $3. I have a text of her knowing about it and telling me she was never going to tell me. I hope this clears things up. And thank you for all the support. Info. The key piece of information we need is who is legally listed on the title of the truck. If the truck is in your name, then the insurance payout should go directly to you, and your mother taking any portion of it would be wrong. However, if your mother's name is on the title, she may have more of a legal right to the money, although it still wouldn't necessarily justify withholding it for personal reasons. Knowing the ownership details is crucial to determining who has the legal right to the insurance payout. You are the asshole. You wrote in a response that it was in your mother's name and she paid for it, so it isn't your truck to begin with. As it isn't your truck and she obviously still had it financed due to your claim she used the money to pay it off, there is no reason for her to give you any money at all just because you contributed to the insurance. I guess people didn't read into the story considering I only see few you are the assholes, but that's reality. It wasn't your car, so you aren't entitled to anything. But my mother was saying that I would get $3,000 after she paid off the rest of the truck. You are the asshole. Is your mother supposed to continue paying for a truck the insurance company totaled? You have to pay off the note, even if you wreck it. Ops responses makes me feel like it really wasn't their truck and we're only helping make payments on it. I don't personally believe Op may be entitled to what they want and their vague responses raises a red flag. You are the asshole. Info. You know the loan on the truck needs to be paid off, right? The money is probably going to go straight to the lender, and you get what's left. What am I missing here? I would get $3,000 after she paid of the rest of the truck. To me, this is the only part that matters. From this it doesn't sound like she's withholding anything from you. If the truck isn't fully paid off and it's declared totaled, then you still need to pay the balance of the loan first and then the rest of the money is yours. Am I the asshole for telling my friend it's her fault she chose a deadbeat BD? Aida? I've been friends with Anna for over 10 years, we're both 24. Last year she started dating this guy and immediately I could tell he was a bum. He's 28 and lives in his parents' basement, drinks and smokes every day, literally, hasn't had a job since he was 19, plays video games and watches streams all day, has told her he only bathes every 2 to 3 weeks, and is very rude. I've been around him a few times and this is all very evident, he doesn't hide this information. I was shocked that my friend would even look his direction. She has her life together, has a stable job and lives alone. I questioned her on why she was settling for his bum ass and she said she loves him and sees his potential, and that she supports his streamer dreams. My sister has a deadbeat ex and they are so similar. I know it's not my place, but before she was even pregnant I warned my friend to get on birth control and use condoms every time she sleeps with him because he has every sign of being a deadbeat. He doesn't even take care of himself, there's not a single paternal bone in his body. Anyone who brags about not changing their clothes for weeks, pees in bottles, and does substances every day is not good dad material. And in my opinion if you're sleeping with someone especially in a red state like ours, you're consenting to them being the potential parent of your child. She told me I was insane and who thinks that way, and that she has no intentions of getting pregnant. Well, she did, just like I expected when she told him he told her to travel to get a termination and she refused. Then he blocked her everywhere. She was devastated during the pregnancy saying she can't believe she's doing it alone and I bit my tongue considering her vulnerable state. Well the baby is 9 months now and she still complains about how hard being a single mom is, that it's not okay for him to be a deadbeat and that she wishes she could have known he was a deadbeat before having a baby. Again I bite my tongue because I know she's struggling. Recently she found out that he has a girlfriend and has been going off. She's messaging her on social media saying she's disgusting for being with a deadbeat. She asked me recently if I would be willing to confront this girl at her job as a barista with her. I said no. She got upset and said if I was a true friend I would. That's when I reached my boiling point. I told her that I warned her before she was even pregnant how big of a loser he is and that she has no place to judge anyone for dating him when she procreated with him and dated him too. She started crying and saying I'm an asshole because it's not her fault she has a deadbeat BD. I just rolled my eyes and said it kind of is. Am I the asshole? Her plan to start a harassment campaign around his new girlfriend tipped this into not the asshole territory for me. Your friend needs to be humbled before she makes a complete ass of herself or worse, finds herself in legal trouble. She's not better than this new girlfriend, and she did pick this man knowing that he has no job, no motivation and no interest in being a responsible adult. She openly admitted that she was dating his potential that never manifested, and that she never had any evidence to support. Your gentle sympathy was not helping her. Maybe some blunt reminders will. Let's hope so. She started crying and saying I'm an asshole because it's not her fault she has a deadbeat BD. Now I have to ask, whose fault does she think it is? Certainly he's at fault for his actions but she could have so easily avoided the whole problem. She knowingly chose to believe in his potential while ignoring his reality. Not the asshole tell her she needs glasses and offered to take her to the optometrist. She is clearly not seeing correctly. You'll have done your good deed for the week. Not the asshole her approach to bothering his new girlfriend and trying to get you involved is pathetic and stupid. She should ease up on complaining to you all the time on these optional problems. I think you did well in holding your tongue all those other times. Unfortunately, her way of thinking is pretty common. My partner is great, you just don't know them like they do. I have no intention of getting pregnant, impregnating someone, so that won't happen to me. I know my partner has demonstrated zero maturity, but I think that this is the type of parent my child deserves. Nothing but the best for my kid. Even though the red flags were waving in front of me and I was warned, how could I possibly foresee any of this happening? I'm a victim and I didn't have a choice in any of this. Not the asshole for lashing out when she tried to get you to harass your coworker. The idea of willingly having sex with someone who pisses in a bottle may be making me more sympathetic to your frustration, to be honest. Tell her to go after him for child support instead of bugging some lady who's never done anything to her. I see how you could be the asshole, as it's not your place to say anything. But honestly, not the asshole, as it was a genuine warning because you had someone in that situation before. She should have used protection, she could have gone for abortion, in another state if needed, she should have moved on instead of constantly checking what he is doing. It's infuriating when you see this crap a mile away and you can't do anything to help as the person won't listen. And then when it happens you can't say anything because you might hurt their feelings. Own your damn actions at the very least and think with your head instead of your reproductive organs, people. Am I the asshole for telling my current stepdad he doesn't have a special role in my wedding? My current stepdad has been in my 27 female life since I was 10. This is when my mom married him. I never knew my bio father. But the man I call my dad was my first stepdad technically. He actually adopted me when I was 5. We met when I was only 6 months old and he died when I was 8. And to me he has always been my dad. Not the bio who didn't want to raise me, and not my current stepdad. This was always a point of contention with my current stepdad. He wanted me to accept him as the new dad in my life, and the fact dad wasn't my bio dad was the biggest reason why he felt like it should be no big deal. But I was protective of dad's memory and the fact that blood wasn't what made him my dad. So I never liked how my stepdad acted about it. My mom tried to help, but she made it worse. She acted like dad could be replaced because he died, and really made me question whether she truly loved him or whether she saw people as only important while they were alive, and once they're gone, well, move on to the next one. I know spouses and parents are different. But my mom spoke like you just discard the dead. There was a lot of him chasing a relationship with me that was dad and daughter, and him getting mad that I was still bringing up my dad, and then I didn't want him to even talk to me. I didn't want to build up a relationship with him and resented the pressure from both to just accept the new dad. It was a very messy time. My relationship with them now is more civil. But I don't have too much respect for them and still dislike they handled him coming into my life and the relationship they wanted me to have with him, as well as the disregard for my dad. This all boils over now because I'm getting married and I chose, for my own peace of mind, to not have the normal walk down the aisle or father-daughter dance. He was expecting to be offered those things, to be asked to fill in as father of the bride. And he approached me about it, which is when I told him I wasn't doing either at my wedding. He then started ranting about what his special role is supposed to be then, and I said he didn't have a special role and that neither he or my mom had one. He said my dad gets one. That dad gets a whole ass seat for his photo even though he's dead, and that I can't even give him, stepdad, a spot in my wedding after 17 years. Then he asked if it was about money and whether I wanted him to pay for the wedding. I said no, I want my wedding to be my way. He told me he deserves better. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I think the one tough thing for me here is the nature of your relationship with your stepdad. 17 years is a long time to have been in your life. But it sounds like the two of you weren't even civil for most of that. So how dare he try to act like he's entitled to being the father figure now? That dad gets a whole ass seat for his photo even though he's dead, and that I can't even give him, stepdad, a spot in my wedding after 17 years. He needs to apologize for this comment. That is a very nasty thing to say. He told me he deserves better. You do too. And when it comes to your wedding, your feelings matter most. Your stepdad is a grown-ass man. He can manage his feelings and expectations on his own and not burden you about it. If your mom suggests how easy it is to replace dead parents again, let her know that you'll respect her wishes and replace her as soon as she dies. Not the asshole. Relationship aside, it's your wedding, not his. This is the problem with adults trying to force a relationship with a child. I would bet folding money that you guys would have a better relationship if he and your mother had allowed the relationship to grow organically. He said my dad gets one. That dad gets a whole ass seat for his photo even though he's dead. Doesn't stepdad also have a seat at the wedding reception, or is he expected to stand? The reason you aren't closer to your stepdad is because he is jealous of your dad and denigrates the memory of your dad. But, instead of changing his behavior, he doubles down. Some people just won't learn. Not the asshole. Okay stepdad, I am more than happy to put your picture on the seat we had reserved for you instead of you being there in person, then you and my dad will be treated exactly the same. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, what a drama queen he is, everything revolves around him. I would tell them if that's the way they feel, no need to come to the wedding. You do not need their drama on your big day.